Hello and thanks for joining me for some Planet Crafter. Starting off Season 2 here. We are going to play... So I've got rid of all of my saves. We're going to play on the Planet Humble. And I'm going to leave the other things to standard. Actually, we will rename this to... I guess... Season 2 will do. And load on in. So, I haven't really played any of the Planet Humble DLC. Played maybe about 5 or 10 minutes of it. But we're going to see what's up. Okay, so a few things are different that I know of, but I don't know my way around the map. Alright, so we need some iron, some cobalt, and some magnesium. That's one piece of iron. There's some magnesium. And I'm stuck on a rock. I'm going to leave that for a minute. There's some more iron. We probably need some silicon in a bit. Let me see. Alright, so we can make our backpack and equip it. And we need cobalt and iron. Now the cobalt, I believe, is pretty hard to find around here. I'll have a quick look around, but I think we need to actually do refining of some sort to get our hands on it. I'm not really seeing any at all. So what we might do, let's see, what do we need for that? An extra silicon. Let's make that one and equip that. And so now we need 2 silicon and another magnesium. So there's a silicon. There's a magnesium. We can find another silicon. Grab the iron. Grab a few pieces of iron while we're here, because we're going to need those. Some magnesium. We'll grab a titanium. Alright, so we'll head back in. We will make that one. Alright, so let's switch over to our building tool. Well, we've got to equip it. Let's equip it like that. Alright, so 2 iron and a titanium. So we need 3 iron, 2 titanium and a silicon. So we need another titanium and a silicon. So I'm going to head over this way. I don't really know my way around the map. I had a quick run around and a bit of a look. But I'm going to head up this way, mainly because there's some high ground that I saw up here, but I don't really know the map. We'll grab some of this on the way. Alright, we are getting low on our oxygen. So I'll see if I can get up here. Alright, gonna put a living quarters here and see if we can get the door in. Well, we got the door in, but it's put us all the way back here. That's alright. We will grab some of these supplies, I guess. Okay. So let's head back over there. Grab some of this iron. Don't have a real lot of space. Got one more spot. Grab some dolomite there. See if I can make it back. Don't have space for that. Alright, so we'll cruise up here. We might just make it in time before we run out of oxygen. Okay, so I'm going to put down storage chest there. Let's put all this in there. Okay, pick up our stuff that we dropped. Alright, so we are going to need to make one of these things. We need another titanium for that. And I guess we will just put it up here. I guess there will do. Alright. Let's get some more oxygen. What do we need for one of these? A silicon. So we'll get that built. And I'll just pop that in the corner there for now. Alright. So we've got an iron. Let's put up a windmill or a wind turbine. It's not enough to power things up though. Let's find a couple more pieces of iron. Oh, well, that might be enough. Alright, that's got that up and running. Let's grab one of these. Oops, didn't mean to drink it. Alright, let's go find some more of that dolomite, because we need to put that in the processor that we just built. And I think that's the main way that we're going to be getting our hands on cobalt. There's a little bit of a structure over there. So I haven't even watched any footage really of anybody else playing this map, so I really don't know much about it at all. Alright, so let's see. So we pop this in here. This will refine it, and we should pull it out of there when it's done. In the meantime, let's get a drill going. we'll find some more, see if we can find some more iron. And some more dolomite. Alright, let's run back and get some oxygen. Might just make it. Do have the canister on me, but I think we are gonna be fine. Just. Alright, let's pop that in there. What have we got? A few bits and pieces. Alright, so what do we need for our tank? We need one more cobalt. Alright, let's shove this in here for the moment. And we'll try and find some more dolomite. And find a little bit more iron if we can. I'm going to ignore the chests for the minute, because you've got a better chance of getting decent stuff out of them when you're a little bit higher level. Alright, oxygen's a little bit low, so let's see if we can get back. We're going to make it in time. Okay, let's take that. Alright, well, that's refreshed us, so we'll stay out a little bit longer. We've just got to keep an eye on that. Especially at the beginning of the game, when we have low tier or zero oxygen tanks. Alright, we've got a full pack. So let's head back up. Am I going the wrong way? No. Alrighty. Okay, so let's shovel this in here. Let's just sort that. See what we've got in here. Alright, so we should have enough to make our first oxygen tank now. Need a cobalt. Let's equip that. Alright, a titanium and a magnesium. I don't have a magnesium, but we should be able to get one. So we should be able to stay out a little bit longer now with our oxygen tank. And we can make the next tier. Let's just grab up some of this stuff. Alright, let's head back. Don't have any dolomite on us. Alright. Let's make that. And we'll equip that. We have to take something off. Let's take that off. Put that on. Put that back on now. Alright. What do we need for that? We need one more cobalt for that, which we don't have yet. Alright. Let's pop up another wind turbine and another drill. Let's tuck that in there. Another titanium. which I don't have in there. Let's grab one of these out. Alright, let's go find some more titanium. There's one. Okay. We should get some oxygen running as well. So we have that one there. Alright, so let's see. We need a magnesium and an ice. So we've got a magnesium in there. There's plenty of ice out here. Let's put up a veggie tube. Pop that in there. Alright, that cut out our power. Let's take that down. Let's pop up another wind turbine here. Maybe we'll do 2. And try that again. Let's take that out. Pop that in there. Okay. Alright, so we've got some cobalt here now. But what do we need? Alright, so we need silicon, titanium, and magnesium. Alright, so we need one more magnesium and one more titanium. Let's see what we can find. Take the iron. Take the dolomite. There's titanium. Magnesium. Some more magnesium there. Take this stuff. Alright, and that's a full load. Don't know if I can get through this way. Okay, so we'll cruise up the hill. Drop off some of this stuff in here. Let's just top up our oxygen. We should be able to make that. So let's do that straight away. Automatically equips. So there was a point back in early access where it didn't automatically equip. You had to unequip it to use it to do your upgrade. And all your stuff would land on the floor. So what have we got in here? Alright. So, let's see. We can't do a heater just yet. We can do our screens. Some of our screens. So, let's see. We need a silicon for that one. Probably going to need a silicon for all the screens if I remember right. Alright, let's just plonk that up on the wall. We have a blueprint screen which we probably don't really need just yet. Alright, we've unlocked a new backpack. That'll be helpful. Yeah, if I put that there, that is going to block this screen. How about we move that one? Just put it up a little bit higher. bit better. Okay, and our energy screen. We need an iron for that. We don't have an iron. Alright, we're a little bit thirsty. Let's drink one of those. We'll eat one of them. Okay. Any iron in here? Yes. Okay, so we can put up our energy screen. Maybe not. Pop it on the ground. How about we just put it there? That'll be fine for the moment. Alright, so let's see. We won't be able to do the progress screen yet because that needs to unlock. So we need the heat for that. We need to get our heaters going, which means we need to find what is it? The red stuff. Iridium from memory. Let's see, yeah. Iridium. I have no idea where to find iridium on this planet. So I think our best bet for that might be to now go and try and open up one or two of these chests and see if we can find some. I know that there's something that there's none in there. There is some sort of mineral or something which we can put in our processor that breaks down into iridium, but I don't know exactly what that resource is. I believe it's a unique resource to Planet Humble, or it's one that got added before the last or after the last time I played, which was before the main release in early access. Let's see what we've got in here. Okay, so we've got a backpack upgrade. So I'll grab that. Alright, let's see. Let's pop that in there, we'll pop that in there. Take the silicon. Alright, what do we need for another veggie tube? Another piece of ice. So we'll grab some ice. Grab a few pieces because we're going to want some water anyway. Let's see. Alright, I'll grab a titanium. Might put up another drill as well. But let's get another veggie tube going. And alright, put that in there. 200%. The lerma seed doesn't really do anything, so I'm not sure if it's really worth doing another one for that. We can try. Can I not fit that in there? Let's take that out. See if we can reposition this one, squish it in a little bit further. Alright, now keep hitting Q to rotate, which isn't really cutting it, because Q brings up the build menu. But I'm used to using Q in some other games that I've been playing. Alright, it's producing a little bit. Still got power. Let's check this. Okay. Well, we can do another drill or two. Let's see if we can fit another one of them in there. Oops, there I go, hitting Q again to rotate. And we're probably going to need another wind turbine pretty soon. Okay. So let's shove some of this stuff away in here. Let me see. We should probably make our flashlight. So 2 magnesium and a silicon. I've only got 1 magnesium. Let's pop that in there and we'll make a new bottle of water. Alright, silicon. Find a couple more magnesium. I guess we'll head out in this direction, see if we can find another chest. There's a magnesium though, so take that. There's a magnesium. May as well pick up a silicon. How much space have we got? Alright. We'll grab more of this. May as well grab as much of this as we can because it does seem to take a while for it to process. Yeah, I could have sworn there was another chest or two around here, but there's one over there. Let's have a look. Okay, we lucked out on the... let's put the ice in there. We lucked out on getting any iridium. Alright, we'll head back because our oxygen's a bit low. Did I grab a canister? I do have a spare canister on me. But as the oxygen canisters do use the cobalt, which seems to be in short supply, well, it looks like we're going to have to use it. Alright, no problem. We'll grab that. We've got to head back anyway. Okay. So we'll chuck the dolomite in here. Alright, let's take that lerma out. That's 300%, that's 350, we'll put that in. That one's 200, let's put 300 in there. What's this one? 200. Alright, well, we could do another veggie tube or two. Let's grab that spare oxygen canister. Let's grab some more ice. Okay, we can do solar panels. Alright. So what have we got? We need the cobalt for those as well. Okay. Let's put up a solar panel there. Guess we'll chuck up another one. See what we've got in here. Take all that out. Alright, let's we need iron. So let's pull down. Oops, didn't have room for the iron and it's rolling down the hill. So let's chuck these in here. Let's go grab that iron that was rolling down the hill. Hydration low, alright. We'll have a drink in a minute. So the water will fully replenish us, so we may as well wait until it's until we're really low. Alright. So I wanted another veggie tube in here, and we need the ice, which I put away. Let's pop one of those in. Pop that in there. Okay, can we do another one? If we had another ice, we could, which we do. Let's pop that in the corner there. Pop the lerma in there. Alright. Let's see. Okay, we got our tier 2 backpack, didn't we? And our tier 2 oxygen tank. Alright, so we need to find some iridium. I think in the meantime, chuck a couple more drills up. Need another iron for that. Alright. And titanium. Okay. Alright. Let's drink that. Eat one of those. We're going to have to find some more food soon. So let's chuck in another drill up here. Alright. Let me see. Throw all this in here. Maybe we should try and maybe we'll venture over to that structure over there. Check out what there is over there. And we'll try and pick up enough supplies along the way to build ourselves a little waypoint where we can recharge our oxygen. So we need a couple of titaniums, some iron, silicon. Alright. That should be enough if we grab one more titanium. Let's head over here. Oops, that's a bit of a drop. Alright, we might not need to put up a structure. What do we got here? A blueprint. Well, we'll take that for sure. And that's what we need. Okay, let's chuck that in there. Let's take that one. Alright, let's see if we can make it back. And we'll be able to get a couple of heaters up and running. see if we can make it back without running out of our oxygen. Probably not by the looks of it. Okay, so let's take that. And we may as well fill that spot with dolomite. So I don't know any of the biomes around this planet. So this is all pretty new to me. Let's see what we've got in here. Alright, let's unlock our blue chip, our blueprint chip. Gave us a mining speed update chip. We need an aluminum or aluminium, whichever way you wish to say it. I do have one. So let's do that. Let's equip that. We didn't make the flashlight. We need another magnesium for that, which I do have. Let's pop that in there. Okay, let's equip that one. Alright, let's pull the llama out of there. What do we got? 200, 200. Alright, pop that in there. Pop those in there for now. Okay, so now I believe our heaters are going to have to go indoors. We need silicon. Which we've got silicon. And we've got a T2 drill unlocked. Okay. Did that kill our power? Nope. Alright. It's a bit squishy. Okay, so maybe what we should do... let's see. Haven't really left myself much space for expansion here. Alright, let's take out that door. Okay. Alright. Let's pop up a heater there. Let's check our power. Okay, so we don't have a great deal of power left. Oops. We do have cobalt. So we need another iron. Let's have a look at what's in here. Alright, we'll pull down one of these. And we'll pop up another solar panel. Which is quite effective even though it's through the rock. Okay, what do we need for a backpack? We need more aluminum, which we don't have. Okay. Let's chuck that in there. Alright, what do we need for an oxygen canister? 2 cobalts. Alright, we've got plenty in here, so let's make one. Alright. Make up a couple. It's a bit of a... Wow, lost a few frames there. Let's make a couple of those. Pop one in there. We'll pop all this in here. As much as we can fit. Is there another iron around somewhere? Alright, Alright, now the other thing too is I don't want to, when I loot chests, I don't really want to destroy them. Because when there are updates, they typically get refilled. So let's pop in another storage chest here. And there I go, hitting Q again to rotate instead of R. Let's just pop that in there. And this is just going to be a temporary base. It's not super sorted. It's just to get us by until we get ourselves going. But we are definitely running low on the food. Alright. Let's go back to the that little structure over there. See if there was anything else over there. Anything worth grabbing. Some extra food would be good. Our food situation is not looking great. So I'm pretty sure we looted this one, didn't we? Yep. But I will leave it there, because it should get refilled when other updates do come in. So we got everything out of that. We'll leave that there. Okay, we got a chest here. There's no food in that. Couple of chests here. All right, there is some food. All right. There's more food and seeds. They'll come in handy. The aluminum will take. All right. Let's take these out. Let's use one of those. Let's drink one of those. Alright, I guess we can take all of that. Alright. Anything else here? There's a chest there. I'm not sure if we grabbed that one or not. More iridium. So let's grab that. And I can just see my turbines up there. So I'll cruise straight back up the hill. Alright. So I don't think I picked up any more dolomite, did I? Nope. Okay. Alright, so let's have a look. Let's decode this one. T1 agility boots. We are probably not going to be able to make those. We need cloth and aluminum. So we need one more piece of aluminum. Let's pop those in there. Alright, we could probably make another heater. Let's pop that up. And I mean, I guess we can make some more veggie tubes. We are going to need them. Well, we're going to need the oxygen so that we can start growing ourselves some food. We got titanium, magnesium. And we need some ice. Alright, let's chuck some of these in here. Alright, let's go find some more ice. Well, there's a tier 2 heater. Let's grab that ice. And that ice. That ice. Okay, that'll probably do us. We'll grab one more. I guess we'll grab a magnesium as well. Okay. Let's chuck up another veggie tube. 250. See if we can pop up another one. No, we need an iron for that. Okay. We need iron for the T2 drills. Yeah, we also need the aluminum for the T2 heater. But we could do that. Got the one piece, so we may as well use it. Okay, let me chuck these in here. We'll chuck the ice in there too. Alright, let's take that one apart along with that one. And we'll pop the T2 in there. Alright. Let's grab an ice. Pop up another veggie tube in here. Let's take that out of there. Let's disassemble that one and squish it in a bit better. Let's pop that in there. Let me see. 200, 150, 200, 200. Well, there's a T2 veggie tube. So, let's see. How about we take that out of there. Upgrade these. Okay, we'll pop that in there. Alright, let's take that out. Take that out. Let's put a T2 in here. We need a silicon. So let me shove one of these back in there. Got a silicon, we've got one. So let's pop that in the corner. We need one more ice for that. There's an ice. Okay, we'll pop that in the corner there. Shove that in there. Okay. What do we need for another one of these? Cobalt. Let's take all of that. Let's chuck up another solar panel or two. Do two if I've got the stuff for it. Okay. Take down the turbines. Let's take down a couple of these drills and replace them with the T2. That's a T1. Whoops. Alright, let's grab this stuff before it rolls away. And there goes our power. Okay. So we need another cobalt. Let's grab that. Let's put up another solar panel. And we need some more oxygen. Let's get inside. Okay, try that now. Alright, so let's see what we've got in here. Let's take that. Alright, can we do more of these? We need more ice. We've got one ice there. Okay. Looks like plenty of ice down here. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a chest or two in this cave. I dare say some of that is going to melt down later on as we generate more heat. But we are on the way to terraforming the planet. Alright, so let's chuck up another T2 veggie tube here. Let's take that. Pop that in there. Okay. Take that out. And we need a silicon. Which we have one there. Let's pop that in there. Okay. Alright, so we will eat one of those. Alright, and we can now do the screen. Which is going to be another wall screen from memory. So let's see. Progress. So we need 2 more silicon and another cobalt. We don't really have the silicon. I don't know if this produces silicon. It does. There's one. So let's see if we can find another silicon. Magnesium. It looks like a silicon right there. So we'll put up our screen. Rotate that around. That can go up there. Alright, let's take down that one. And let's put that up here so we can see them both together. And there's a new oxygen tank unlocked. Okay, so we are slowly getting towards blue sky. The heat is going to be slow until we find ourselves a source of iridium. Pressure's getting up there. Alright, what do we need for our next oxygen tank? another silicon and aluminum. So we're going to need to find a source of aluminum as well. It's got a bit of a meteor shower. So I don't know if these are going to bring stuff down as well. But let's have a look and see if we can see where some of these are going to land. And see what they drop. Because maybe we'll get some aluminum from those. Okay, there's one right down there. Alright. Let's head over here. There's a couple landed over here. We'll see what... see if we can find anything. So I don't know if we'll search them all. Let's have a look. Cobalt. What do you got? Iron, magnesium. That's looks pretty interesting over there. Alright, doesn't look like we're going to get too much interesting stuff out of that. Geez, this dolomite shines up. Sparkles when it's dark. Oops. Do we check this? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Alright, let's take this oxygen, aluminum, okay, or aluminium, if that's how you say it. Alright, let's get this stuff back. We'll drop off the dolomite into our processor. So, okay. So there's this black squarey thing. I don't know what that is, but that is going to produce iridium for us. Alright, but we have one. Let's swap these out. What's that one? That's 350. That one's 200. Let's take that out and put the 350 in there. And this one's 300. So what do we got here? That one's 200. Let's put the 300 in there. Let's shove these in here for the time being. Alright, so what do we need for the heater? Well, maybe we're better off using... Well, we only have the one aluminum. What do we need for our tank? Just the one. So if we have a silicon, which we don't, is there one in here? There is one. Alright, we've got the bigger solar panels unlocked too. Okay. Let's make that, because that'll help us go a bit further. Shove the rest of that in there. We are going to want some more water. We do have a water in there, that's fine. Alright, so our food situation is a little bleak. But Anyway, let's see. So we're at 10% towards blue sky. So we are getting there. That is probably going to do it for this episode though. So if you did enjoy this video, please leave me a like or a comment down below. If you'd like to see more, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.